get an LS motor. I'll get Chevy.
Alright, chapter 1, the LS Miata Diaries, I guess we'll call it. I'm not sure if I like that, but call it something. The idea behind this is I wanted to film all the events we could put this car through. So, drift events, track events, autocross events, rallycross even, drag strip. Like, let's put this thing through everything underneath the sun. Let's document it and see what breaks and what doesn't and what it's good at and what it's bad at. So that's the idea behind this. This is the first episode that we're trying to kick off because the car is starting to stretch its legs a little bit. So what we'll do is, let's do a little bit of backstory first. Got this car sight unseen from Chicago. And it was a mess when we got it. The parts were generally there, but it was not a good build. It was very, very poorly put together. So spent 2 years after work with my friend Steve, taking this thing apart, rebuilding the subframe, all custom, make sure everything's strong and safe, get everything straight in the car, and make it look nice and perfect show car underneath it, and with a junkyard body on top. That was the goal. Just make a redneck invention that when you look close enough, it at least looks like we know what we're doing. So 2 years doing that, we clear coated and primed and painted everything when it came down to every nut and bolt and surface underneath the car. We built a 3-inch custom exhaust with an X pipe that was all custom on our end, just trying stuff, just having fun with it. And eventually got the thing back together and got it safe and running. Now, the first event was out in Arizona. I live in Phoenix. It was at Indy Motorsports Ranch, I think it's called, down near Tucson. And took the thing down there, made 312 horsepower to the wheel. And first and second gear were a bit funny on the trans, but everything else was good. And went out on the track and the thing was a riot. Now it stuck to the corners like a stock Miata. It didn't feel super heavy. Like, it just felt pretty good when it came to what I was expecting. Feels like a Miata with gobs of power. Setup, we got Xida Coilovers, Advanced wheels, Toyo RR tires, 50 treadwear DOT slicks, and custom front big old sway bar that's adjustable, and then a rear aftermarket sway bar, little guy. And the thing worked great. It was a stock track Miata feeling car with gobs of power. So it was super fun to drive. But there was an issue that was presenting itself during the day. As we kept running the car, we kept getting this Batman style black smoke screen behind us under decel. I believe it's called ring flutter, where the motor's tired enough where it pulls the oil past the piston rings. And you get a sweet little smoke screen behind you. So we got black flagged a few times. And went home and decided it was time to pull the motor and the trans back out and make everything all fresh. Rebuilt the trans, which was fun. My friend Milan helped us build it in my garage. Okay, action. So we did that, pulled the motor out, sent it to PRK out in Mesa, Arizona. They hooked us up with an 11-to-1 compression motor, overbuilt with forged internals, everything just to make the thing durable, because I told them I want to beat on the car. I want to just rev limiter on the drift event, or just, I don't want to worry about the motor, just make it nice and reliable, then fast, and make it big old cam just to make it lopey sound. Yeah, baby! First event, which was an autocross. Now the autocross was cool. Didn't get a ton of footage from it, but it was a riot. It was plenty of power. Second gear was almost too long for the little track they had, so I tried first and second gear passes, and the thing didn't really want to stick too good with my 5-year-old semi-slicks, and the steering wheel. This thing right here was like driving a bus. This deep dish steering wheel in this tight little car was like, it's going hand over hand when it came to going around the corner. So it felt like a complete noob with everything, but it was a blast, and the thing worked better than I thought. We got top 50 out of I think a couple hundred, at Good Guys in Scottsdale. Then we went to Wild Horse Pass. And Wild Horse Pass is a track down in Phoenix, Arizona, so about a half hour from me. Super convenient. And took the car over there, and the thing worked awesome. Now, we had a couple issues though. The motor gets way too hot. I got a stock CX Racing eBay radiator in there. It's just been taking up space, honestly. Cools the motor okay for the street driving we've been doing, but I knew it was going to be an issue. So, looked down, the motor was above 120C at one point in practice one. So I panicked, drove the rest in 5th gear the whole session, cooled the motor back down. All right, so we got an issue when it comes to cooling.
Nothing sounds like an LS motor. Like a Chevy.
What we did to remedy that is we cut a rectangle out in the front bumper, and we learned that Miata front bumpers don't flow air too good. So, cut a big old hole in the front bumper, went out for session 2, and it dropped it 10 to 20C. So got to drive most of the track, just casual driving, just stretching the legs of the car, and it worked way better than I thought. I was really surprised by that. So now I got a goofy looking front bumper. And 3rd gear, we learned it does not like to stay in 3rd gear, so I think there's a blocker plate issue. That has to come right back out. But no biggie. After session 2, realized that not only did I have a transmission issue in 3rd gear, it was spewing Redline trans oil all over me and inside the car in the sessions, which I figured was just on me, not a huge deal. I'm just gonna get a little wet. And what I believe is the remedy for that is I gotta change this short throw shifter, put a stock one in there, check my breathers on my trans, and that should remedy it. I think it's just slinging up through, so missing some seal or something's wrong. So should be a pretty easy fix. And then what ended the day after session 2 was both my axle boots in the rear on the diff end exploded. So it's all lubed up underneath the car now, and it's not gonna ever rust. It's a mess. And pull those things out. So what did we learn? Now, the stock Miata front end, the bumper doesn't flow air too good. So that can be something to help cool your car. I'm gonna put vents in the hood too to help with that. The aftermarket shift levers on a T56 can have issues when it comes to slinging stuff up and around, especially if they're a bit older. And the axle boots don't like to get hot. These aftermarket V8 conversion axle boots, they don't work too good. And that's about it, right? So the thing worked freaking good. It was a riot and got lots of smiles, and it sounds like it doesn't make any sense, and it's really, really cool. So that was our experience. Gonna put a radiator in there and fix all the other bits and pieces and get back to it. Get a full track down this thing. And that's it. That's all I got for you. Bye.